Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss our last lecture of haloalkenes and haloarenes. Those who don't subscribe my channel yet, please subscribe the channel Chemistry Wizard Dr. Mohammad Tawfiq, so that you can have notification for next upcoming lectures, and the lecture will be beneficial for you in preparation of NEET and IIT. Okay. Now moving towards haloalkenes and haloarenes. In our last lecture, there are some important compounds of alkyl halides and aryl halides. First compound is CH2Cl2. The name is dichloromethane. Dichloromethane. The name is dichloromethane, and this dichloromethane is also known as methylene dichloride. Methylene dichloride. Why? Because this group CH2 is known as methylene group. So it is also known as methylene dichloride. First, let's talk about the uses. It is a solvent for paint remover. If you want to remove paint from any surface, then you can use CH2Cl2. It is a propellant in aerosol. Aerosol means like shaving foam. It is an aerosol, so it is used as a propellant in aerosol, metal cleaning and finishing solvent. To clean the metal surface, to remove the rust, and to give a shiny surface, we can use dichloromethane or methylene dichloride. It has very harmful effect. That's why it has very limited applications. When a person exposed to CH2Cl2, it can cause a slightly impaired hearing and vision for temporary basis. Okay. So if a person exposed to dichloromethane, that it could have slightly impaired hearing. That means there is a problem in hearing and vision for temporary basis. Okay. It can cause nausea, dizziness, skin sensation as well as burning. Simple. Now moving towards the next. CHCl3, the chloroform. CHCl3. As we know, it is used as solvent and has anesthetic property. That means if someone smell the chloroform, it could be causes laziness, dizziness or unconsciousness, that it has anesthetic property. It is used to prepare freons. We will discuss freon in the later section. It is used to prepare freons, and as we know, freon in the later times, freon was used as a refrigerant in AC, in refrigerator. There are many harmful effects of chloroform. It causes dizziness. If high contact of chloroform for a long time can damage liver. If a person remains in contact of chloroform for a long time, then it can damage the liver, and it is harmful to the central nervous system. Central nervous system means the nervous system which is directly linked to the brain and backbone. It is known as central nervous system. So it is harmful to the CNS, central nervous system, as well as causes damaging of liver. If a chloroform is exposed to air in presence of ultraviolet light or the sun radiation, because as we know, the sun radiation is UV light. If a chloroform is exposed to air, that means oxygen, in UV light or the light, then it will form COCl2, phosgene, and it is highly poisonous substance. So many times in the previous times, when a person during the surgery or during some medical treatment, the person would got death by just smelling chloroform, because if a chloroform is exposed to air or oxygen in presence of sunlight, form COCl2, phosgene, which is highly poisonous substance. Okay, that's why the chloroform should be stored in a black color bottle, so that there would be no light pass to the bottle walls, and the chloroform, the cap of the bottle should be closed always. So it is a precautionary measure to store chloroform. The chloroform should be stored in a black colored bottle, and the cap of the bottle should be closed every time. Okay. Now moving towards the next compound, which is CHI3 iodoform. Iodoform is a yellow crystalline solid. It is same formula as chloroform. CHCl3 chloroform, CHI3 iodoform. The chloro word replaced by iodine. It is yellow color crystalline solid and has antiseptic property. If we apply iodoform over on some wounds, then ultimately it liberate iodine, and as we know, iodine has antiseptic property. So iodoform has antiseptic property. It is a yellow color crystalline solid, whereas chloroform is colorless liquid. Now moving towards the last one, CCl4, carbon tetrachloride. It is used as refrigerant, in propellant, in aerosol, as well as in dry cleaning of clothes and dry cleaning of clothes, mats and etc. And it also has very harmful effect. It causes headache, nausea, dizziness, vomiting, can damage central nervous system permanently, and it is carcinogenic in nature. What does carcinogenic means? Carcinogenic means cancer causing agent. The CCl4, carbon tetrachloride, is a cancer causing agent. That's why it is carcinogenic in nature. Now moving towards the last compound of some important compound, which is freon, or we know the freon as CFC, chlorofluorocarbon. The naming of freon is freon XYZ. The XYZ are the actually numbers. Okay, so when we write down the name of a freon, or when we are going to represent a particular freon, the formula, the chemical formula of particular freon, then it should be written as freon XYZ, where the XYZs are the number. Okay, what does X represent? The X represent number of carbon minus 1. What does Y represent? The Y represent number of hydrogen plus 1. What does Z represent? The Z represent number of fluorine atom. Okay, as we know, carbon is tetravalent atom. So each carbon is associated by 4 different constituents by single bond. By finding out the value of X, Y, Z, by using the value of X, Y, Z, by using the value of X, Y, Z, we can have number of carbon, number of hydrogen, and number of fluorine. If still the tetravalency of carbon is not satisfied, then remaining all constituent will be chlorine. I repeat, freon is also known as CFC, chlorofluorocarbon. Its representation is freon XYZ, where the XYZ are the numbers. Okay. The X represent number of carbon minus 1 number of carbon minus 1. The Y represent number of hydrogen plus 1. The Z represent number of fluorine atom. If by finding out number of carbon, number of hydrogen, number of fluorine by using the data of X, Y, Z, the tetravalency of carbon is not going to satisfy, then the remaining all which lack in tetravalency will be chlorine. For an example, we have freon 011, or we can simply write 11. Now remember, if the first number is 0, then it could be omitted. So 011 or 11 same. But let's suppose we have freon 101. Then this 0 could not be omitted, or we have freon 110, then this 0 could not be omitted. That means in the numbering of freon, if first letter, which is the X, is 0, then it could be omitted. But if Y is 0 or Z is 0, it cannot be omitted. So we have freon 011 or 11. That means 0 is X, 1 is Y, and 1 is Z. Since we know X equals to C minus 1, and which is equals to 0, so the C equals to 1. That means that particular freon has 1 carbon atom. The hydrogen is 1. Since we know Y is hydrogen, Y is H plus 1, and the H plus 1 summation is 1. So the H would be 1, and the 1 minus 1 equals to 0. That means there is 1 carbon and 0 hydrogen. Now moving to the Z. The Z is 1, and what does Z represent? The number of fluorine atom. Since Z equals to 1, then the number of fluorine is 1. So if we go to the formula C, there is no hydrogen and 1 fluorine. So the formula is CF. So the formula will be CF. As we know, carbon is tetravalent atom and there is only 1 fluorine. So the lack of valency is 3. So there is 3 chlorine. So that freon 011 has formula CFCl3. You can note it down. After that we will take some more example of freon and we move to the next compound, BSC, benzene hexachloride, and DTT. Note it down. You can take a screenshot so you can note it down later. Now moving towards some more example of freon. Let's suppose we have freon 111. We have freon 111. That means this one is X, this one is Y, and this one is Z. Since we know X is C minus 1 equals to 1, so what is C? This minus 1 would go to this side, then 1 plus 1 equals to 2, then the number of carbon is 2. Since we know what is Y, the H plus 1, and it is 1. This plus 1 goes to the that side, then 1 minus 1 equals to 0, then the hydrogen would be 0. Since we know what is Z, number of fluorine atom, and it is equal to 1, that means the total number of fluorine is 1. So we have a freon which has 2 carbon, 0 hydrogen and 1 fluorine. So that means C2F. C2F. Since we know the 2 carbon, okay, so how can these 2 carbon can arrange with each other in this manner? So remaining all valencies should be satisfied by chlorine. So the formula is C2FCl5. Is it clear? Is it clear? So how can we, just by knowing the numbers of freon, we can have chemical formula of freon. Now moving towards the next important compounds, and the next important compounds are DDT, para-dash dichloro, para-dash dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane. It is the chemical name of DDT. Okay, para-dash dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane. Okay, now DDT. What is the UPSC name? Para-dash dichlorodiphenyl. Para-dash dichlorodiphenyl trichloroethane. Trichloroethane. It is a simple formula of DDT. Now, how can we prepare DDT? Let's suppose we have chlorobenzene. Then 2 molecules of chlorobenzene. How many molecules? 2 molecules of chlorobenzene. React with 1 molecule of CCl3CHO. It is known as chloral. It is known as chloral. And what are these? These are the chlorobenzene. 2 molecules of chlorobenzene react with 1 molecule of chloral. Okay? When heat in presence of acidic medium, it is H2SO4. So it will remove 1 molecule of water, H2O, and these 2 carbon attached to that carbon. So this one is Cl, this one is again Cl. They both are associated with this carbon. It already has 1 hydrogen and CCl. Sorry, and CCl. Okay, now if this one is para, then this one is para dash. So para dash dichloro diphenyl. Then trichloroethane. This is the UPSC name of DDT. It is an insecticide. It was used excessively during the World War II to 1970-1980s. Okay. In 1973, the USA banned the use of DDT. Why? Because it contaminated the food chain. That means when we use the DDT on the field of crops to kill the insects, then ultimately it contaminates the food chain, because when the animals go to graze the field, it will go into the animal's body, to the animal body, in the human body, and it will contaminate the entire food chain. As well as it causes soil pollution and water pollution. So after the 1973, USA completely banned the DDT, and in 1978, Montreal, which is a city in the Canada, there is a meeting known as Montreal Protocol. In Montreal Protocol, the DDT has been banned worldwide. Okay, now it is DDT. Clear? There is no problem. Now moving towards the next compound. Welcome back, students. Due to some technical problem, the video has been stopped. Now we are moving towards our next compound, BHC, benzene hexafluoride, which is the formula of BHC is C6H6Cl6. So numerically, it is also known as 666. It has two common names: Linden, Lindane, Linden, and Chemaxin. How can we form? If benzene is exposed to ultraviolet radiation at high temperature along with chlorine. Okay, benzene is exposed to UV light at high temperature along with chlorine gas, then 3 molecules of chlorine or 6 chlorine atoms show addition reaction on the double bond of benzene. Since we know benzene has 3 double bonds, so if 3 double bond converted to the 3 single bond, then there would be 6 substituent. So all the 6 substituent are chlorine, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that one the 6th chlorine, and it is known as benzene hexafluoride, or chemical formula is C6H6Cl6. Numerically, it is also known as 666. Their common name are Linden and Chemaxin. Clear? Now, it is also an insecticide used excessively during the World War II to the 1970s, 1980s. Currently, it has been banned. The use of BHC is completely banned. Now, moving towards the exercise. Where is the... You can note it down. Okay. Now we are moving towards the exercise or NCERT questions of chapter 10 of class 12, haloalkenes and haloarenes. Those who have not subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe the channel, so can you have notification for each upcoming videos. The videos will be helpful for your IIT NEET preparation, because I am going to prepare the videos and IIT and NEET level. Okay. Now moving towards the exercise. First, let's take the in-text question of haloalkenes and haloarenes. The in-text question number 2. Why sulfuric acid is not used during the reaction of alcohol with Ki? Okay, what is the in-text question number 2? If we are reacting alcohol with Ki, then the product would be Ri and KOH. Okay, the question said during this reaction we cannot use sulfuric acid. Why we cannot use H2SO4? Okay, since let Ki when react with H2SO4 form Hi plus KHSO4. KHSO4, potassium, hydrogen sulfide and hydrogen iodide. These hydrogen iodide, since H2SO4 is also an oxidizing agent, so these hydrogen iodide get oxidized by the H2SO4, produce H2O and I2, iodine gas, and I2 cannot react directly with ROH alcohol. That's why it is advisable to not use H2SO4 during the reaction of alcohol with Ki. So what else we can use? We can use phosphoric acid, H3PO4. So if we are going to react alcohol with Ki, it is advisable to use H3PO4, not H2SO4, because Ki react with H2SO4 and produce Hi, and this Hi further oxidized by the H2SO4, because H2SO4 is an oxidizing as well as dehydrating agent, and remove water molecule and eliminate or liberate iodine vapor. And iodine vapor cannot react with alcohol. Clear? This one is in-text question of our NCERT. In-text question number 2. Now moving towards the next question. I have marked the question which we are going to discuss. Among the isomeric alkane of molecular formula C5H12. Okay. we have an alkane which has formula C5H12. Okay, C5H12. So what the question says, among the isomeric alkane of molecular formula C5H12, identify the one that on photochemical chlorination yield. That means we are going to photochemical chlorination of C5H12. To identify the one. The question has three sub questions on single monochloride. So first, what is first? Single monochloride. Okay. What is second? Three isomeric monochloride. Three isomeric monochloride. And third, four isomeric monochloride. Four isomeric monochloride. So what is the question? The question says, we have an alkane C5H12 and the C5H12 is undergoing photochemical chlorination. Remember the condition for photochemical chlorination of halogenation. If an hydrocarbon is exposed to sunlight along with halogen, hydrocarbon exposed to sunlight along with halogen, then it is photochemical chlorination. Remember students, in case of photochemical chlorination, the reactivity order, the benzylic is more than allylic, is more than 3 degree, 2 degree, 1 degree. Methane is more than aryl group and it is more than vinyl group. It is more than vinyl group. So since we know during the photochemical halogenation or chlorination, the reaction would preferably take place on the benzylic carbon. Take place on the benzylic carbon is on that to the, then the allylic carbon. What is the allylic carbon? The carbon next to the double bond. Then 3 degree carbon, then 2 degree carbon, then 1 degree carbon. Then if it is methane, then an aromatic carbon, then the vinyl carbon. What is vinyl carbon? The carbon with double bond. What is allyl carbon? What is allyl carbon? The carbon next to the double bond. And what is vinyl carbon? The carbon with double bond. If the carbon of aromatic aryl carbon and the carbon on the benzene ring is known as benzyl carbon. If it has two hydrogen. If it has two hydrogen. If it has only one hydrogen, then that it is known as benzyl carbon. If the carbon on benzene ring do not have any hydrogen, that it is known as benzo. So what is benzyl? This one. What is benzyl? This one. What is benzo? This one. Okay. Now moving towards our question. We have an alkane formula C5H12 and it is undergoing photochemical chlorination. And what kind of alkane it could be? That give only a single monochloride, that give 3 isomeric monochloride, that give 4 isomeric monochloride. Students, in the previous lectures of structural isomers, I have discussed the isomerization. And on that lecture I told to you that the isomerization is a very important topic because many of the questions are going to be answered if you know the isomerization concept. Since it is a 5 carbon alkane, so how can we arrange 5 carbon? CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. That means 5 carbon in a chain. It is known as N-pentane. Normal pentane. Okay? It is known as N-pentane, normal pentane. Now, the second isomeric structure of 5 carbon alkane is isopentane. Isopentane. The third is neopentane. The third one is neopentane. Now, the single monochloride. What does single monochloride do? The neopentane. Why? Because neopentane has 5 carbon. Okay. Out of these 5 carbon, these 4 carbon has hydrogen. Okay. And all of these carbon are same. Look at the structure. All of these carbon are same. we cannot distinguish among these CH3. So if any hydrogen out of these 12 hydrogen is replaced by chlorine, that is the single monochloride product. So if CH3, it is a neopentane structure, CH3, 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 CH3 is allowed to expose with chlorine under the presence of sunlight, then it would be give CH3C, CH2Cl, CH3, CH3. Whether it is this carbon, that one or that one does not matter. It is a single monochloride. Okay. The IUPAC name is 1,2,3 2,2-dimethyl 1-chloropropane. 2,2-dimethyl. Sorry, 1-chloro is 1-chloro 2,2-dimethyl propane. If you substitute this, then the IUPAC name is same. If you substitute that hydrogen, again the IUPAC name is same. If you are going to substitute that above hydrogen, then the IUPAC name is same. So in case of neopentane, only one monochloride is possible. 3 isomeric monochloride. Now look at this structure, N-pentane. These two carbon are same. So if any hydrogen of these two carbons substitute, the compound is same. Similarly, these two carbon are same. So if any hydrogen is if we substitute any hydrogen of these two carbon, then again the compound is same. So this one is first possibility, this one is second possibility, and this CH2 is completely different. So this one is 3 possibility. So if we substitute one hydrogen from that or that carbon, then we have one monochloride. If we substitute one hydrogen from that or that carbon, then we have second monochloride. If we substitute that hydrogen of that carbon, then we have third monochloride. So there is 3 isomeric monochloride. So in case of second part of the question, when an N-pentane is allowed to react with chlorine in presence of sunlight, it would give CH3, CH2, 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 CH2Cl first compound, or CH3, CH2, CH2, CH, Cl, CH3 second compound, or CH3, CH2, CH, Cl, CH2, CH3 third compound. The IUPAC name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1-chloropentane. Here the IUPAC name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2-chloropentane. Here the IUPAC name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3-chloropentane. Okay. Now the 4 isomeric. So remaining that. Now look at this CH3 is completely different. Now look at these two CH3. These two CH3 are same, because if we numbering from this time 1, 2, 3, 4, then 2-methyl butane, 1, 2, 3, 4, again 2-methyl butane. That means that two CH3 are same. So if we substitute any hydrogen from that CH3, the compound is same. So this one is first possibility, this one is second possibility, this one is third possibility, and this one is fourth possibility. So we have different 4 isomeric alkane. You can form. Okay. Now, note down the solution. It is the in-text question number 3rd of our NCERT. You can take a screenshot, so you can note it down later. Now moving towards the next question. Moving toward the next question. Sorry, it is the 4th question of your NCERT in-text question of chapter 10. Okay. Now the question number 5. Draw the structure of major monohalo product of each of the following reactions. Draw the structure of major monohalo product of each of the following reaction. We have given some reactions. Question 5. Question 5. First question of the question in text. Question number 5. And it has several questions. This one is first question. What is we have cyclohexanol, and the cyclohexanol is reacting with SOCl2, which is thionyl chloride. Now, what will be the product? Since the reaction took place in presence of pyridine. What kind of reaction it is? If you know, it is Darson reaction. कौन सी reaction है ये? It is Darson reaction. In Darson reaction, the OH of aliphatic carbon substituted by the chlorine. Remember, only the OH present on the aliphatic carbon, not on the aromatic carbon. Then this OH replaced by the Cl, so that we have chlorocyclohexane. This H react with one HCl, give HCl, and O react with SO, give SO2. These both byproduct are formed in gaseous state, so the byproduct escape the system, and we have only product. Remember, it is Darson reaction. Clear? It is our first reaction. Now moving towards the second reaction. We have benzene ring, and on that benzene ring we have ethyl group, CH2 CH3, and nitro group, para position with respect to each other, and it is going to react with bromine in presence of sunlight, H nu, or heat. Okay, this one is our second reaction. Identify the condition. It is again halogen, and presence of sunlight is free radical halogenation. So it is free radical halogenation. In short, we can write down FRH. As we know, we have discussed in the previous question, in free radical halogenation, the reactivity order would be benzylic carbon is more than, allylic carbon is more than 3 degree, 2 degree, 1 degree, methyl, then is more than, aromatic carbon is more than vinyl carbon. So look at that. These benzene carbon are the aromatic carbon. This one is 1 degree carbon. This one is 2 degree carbon, but it is 2 degree benzylic. Look at that carbon. This carbon on the benzene ring. Carbon on the benzene ring is the benzylic carbon if it has 2 hydrogen, and it is benzylic carbon. And as we know, by the reactivity order, the reaction would always take place benzylic carbon than any other carbon. So this hydrogen from this carbon substituted by the bromine and give HBr, and there is 1 Br. Okay? Clear? There is no problem. It is the question number 2 of index question 5. Now moving towards the third question. Again, we have a benzene ring. Okay? And there is 2 substituent on benzene ring. One is CH2OH and one is OH. One is CH2OH and one is OH para with respect to each other. And this benzene ring is going to react with HCl in presence of heat. It is simple. As we know, the aliphatic alcohol react with hydrogen halide, HCl, HBr or HI, and shows substitution of this OH. Since this OH group attaches to the benzene carbon, which is aromatic carbon, and by the process of resonance, there is partial double bond character between this carbon and this oxygen. So this OH cannot be substituted easily. This OH is present on aliphatic carbon. So this OH substituted by the halogen. So H, OH and H react and eliminate water molecule, and Cl will replace the OH of aliphatic carbon. Now this aromatic OH remains intact, while the aliphatic OH substituted by the Cl, and we have the product. This is the question number 3 of index question 5. Moving towards the question number 4. First, we clear the board. The fourth one is we have cyclohexene, methyl cyclohexene. The fourth, we have methyl cyclohexene, and the methyl cyclohexene is reacting with Hi, hydrogen iodide. Okay, it is addition reaction. The Hi would add to the double bond, and it is which kind of addition? Markovnikov addition reaction. According to Markovnikov rule, the nucleophile or the negative ion add to the carbon which has less number of hydrogen. Look at that carbon. It has no hydrogen, while that carbon has one hydrogen. So the iodine would add to this carbon, and hydrogen would add to that carbon, and we have now cyclohexane where there is hydrogen and CH3. So now we have one iodo, one methyl cyclohexane as our product. Now moving towards the next question, the question number 5 of index question 5. It is ethyl bromide, CH3, CH2, Br. And ethyl bromide is reacting with NaI, sodium iodide, in presence of acetone, or we can say dry acetone. What is the name of the reaction? Finkelstein reaction. It is one of the halogen exchange reaction. The iodine would get substituted by the iodine substitute the bromine, or the bromine gets substituted by the iodine. So we can have CH3, CH2I, iodoethane plus NaBr, sodium bromide. The name of the reaction is Finkelstein reaction. Okay, moving towards the last reaction of the chapter, we have cyclohexene. We have cyclohexene, and the cyclohexene is reacting with Br2, bromine. Okay, and the condition is there is heat as well as UV light. Identify the condition. Halogen is presence of UV light or sunlight is free radical halogenation, and the free radical halogenation always took place benzylic carbon more probably than the allylic, then the 3 degree, 2 degree, 1 degree, then methane, then aromatic carbon is more than vinyl carbon. So look at that. These two are the double bonded carbon, so they are the vinyl carbon, and these two are the carbon next to the double bond. So that carbon and that carbon is known as allyl carbon. There is no benzylic carbon, and there has been no reaction preferably took place on the allyl carbon. So any of the hydrogen of that carbon gets substituted by the bromine, and the hydrogen and remaining bromine react and produce HBr. Is it clear? So we have 1, 2, 3. 3 bromocyclohexene. Clear? What if, let's suppose we have bromine in presence of CCl4 and dark. There is no sunlight. So there is no free radical halogenation. Now it is an example of addition reaction, and this Br2 add to the double bond, so that we have Br 1,2 dibromocyclohexane. And what is the important thing? It is anti-addition reaction. What does anti-addition means? That means if a double bond undergoing single bond, then there is two substituent. In anti-addition, the one substituent is above the plane, then the other substituent is below the plane. So that we can properly draw the structure by this. If one of the bromine is below the plane, then the other bromine would be above the plane. Then the proper IUPAC name is trans 1,2 dibromocyclohexane. Trans 1,2 dibromocyclohexane. Clear? We will discuss in the when I prepare the lecture on the reaction mechanism. Then we will discuss what is anti-addition, what is syn addition, and what are the stereochemical aspects of the resultant product. It will be in the separate lecture, because I told to you earlier, all the lecture would be based on the IIT and NEET level. Okay, so remember, halogenation, it is a simple halogenation, is always a anti-addition reaction, and in anti-addition reaction, one halogen is above the plane of cyclic system, then the other one will be below the plane. So the product is always trans. One more thing, we can say it is stereo specific reaction. Stereospecific reaction. And what are the stereospecific means? What are the stereoselective means? We will discuss in a separate lecture. Okay? Clear? This is the in-text question number 5, and we have discussed all the question. Note it down, and we are moving towards the next question. Take a screenshot so you can note it down later. Now moving toward the next question. Next in-text question, the question number 6. Question 6 of in-text question. Arrange each set of compound in order to their increasing boiling point. It is quite common reaction. As we know, when branching increases, boiling point decreases. Okay. When atomic molecular mass increases, boiling point increases. So, let's remind some important key point regarding boiling point. Molecular mass is directly proportional to boiling point. Okay. That means as molecular mass increases, boiling point increases. Whenever the branching is inversely proportional to the boiling point, that means as branching increases, boiling point decreases. Okay. Now we have bromomethane, bromoform, chloromethane, and dibromomethane. In the first question of question 6 of in-text question, we have bromomethane. That means CH3Br. Okay. Next one is bromoform. What is CHCl3 chloroform, CHI3 iodoform, then CHBr3 is bromoform. Chloromethane, that means CH3Cl, and the last one is dibromomethane, that means CH2Br. Now they all are single carbon molecule, so there is no branching. So we look toward the molecular mass. As we know, CHBr3 will have higher molecular mass. Let's give the name of compound. A compound, B compound, C compound, and D compound. So what should be the boiling point? The highest boiling point would be CHBr3 bromoform. Then B would have more boiling point than D because it has 2 bromine atoms. It will have more boiling. Up now, bromomethane and chloromethane. Since we know bromine has higher atomic mass than the chlorine, then A, then B. That means bromoform will have higher boiling point than the dibromomethane, than the bromomethane, than the chloromethane. Clear? Now moving toward the second question. 1-chloropropane, CH3, Cl2, CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl. This one is 1-chloropropane. The second one is isopropyl chloride. That means CH3, CH, CH3, then that is Cl. The next one is 1-chlorobutane. CH3, CH2, 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 Cl. We have 3 compounds. The compound A, the compound B, and compound C. Since they both have same chemical formula but different in their structure, so they are the isomer. In case of isomer, what we look? Branching. It is a completely different compound. So with respect to C, we will see molecular mass. Since C has the highest molecular mass, so C has highest boiling point. Now, there is no branch. It is a chain. While there is a one branch, so C will have more boiling point than A, and A will have more boiling point than C. B. Why the C has more boiling point? Because it has highest molecular mass. Why the A has more boiling point than B? Because there is no branch in A, but there is a single branch in B. Clear? The question number 6, note it down. Take a screenshot. We are moving toward our next question. The next question is, write alkyl halide from and following pairs. Which alkyl halide from the following pairs would you expect to react more rapidly by an SN2 mechanism? Since students, remember again one thing. Before you are going to solve any question, you must know what is the main criteria. We have SN2 reaction. So since we know in SN2 reaction, the methyl halide is more reactive than the 1 degree, then the 2 degree, then the 3 degree. Clear? As well as the alkyl iodide is more than alkyl bromide, is more than alkyl chloride, is more than alkyl fluoride. Okay. So, if we are discussing SN2 reaction, then methyl halide is more reactive towards SN1 than 1 degree, then 2 degree, then 3 degree from the stereochemical aspects, and alkyl iodide is more reactive towards alkyl bromide, alkyl chloride and alkyl iodide. Why? Because alkyl iodide has higher bond length than the alkyl bromide, then alkyl chloride, then alkyl fluoride. So that bond will be substituted much easily than the this and that. Clear? Now look at the compound. The first question of question number 7. One is 1 bromobutane and 2 bromobutane. Obviously 1 bromobutane. CH3, CH2, 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 Br. This one is 1 bromobutane and CH3, CH2, CH, Br, CH3. Since it is 1 degree compound and it is 2 degree compound. As we know, 1 degree is more reactive towards SN1 than 2 degree, then that would be the answer. Okay. In second, it is again 2 bromobutane and 2 bromo 2 methyl pentane. Yeah, isobutyl bromide. CH3, CH2, CH, CH3. Okay. What is? It is isobutyl and this one is tertiary butyl. Okay. Isobutyl and tertiary butyl. It is 2 degree compound. It is 3 degree compound. So, as the order says, the 2 degree is more reactive towards SN2 than 3 degree. Now moving towards the next one, the question number 3. The name of this compound is 3-methyl 1-bromo-butane. CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH2, Br. 3-methyl 1-bromo-butane. Okay? Now, next one is 2-methyl. CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, CH2, Br. Next one is 2-methyl 1-bromo-butane. Now, both is 1 degree. That is 1 degree carbon and 1 degree carbon. Both is 1 degree. But this 1 degree carbon has branch and it's quite far. This 1 degree carbon, this 1 degree molecule has branch which is quite closer to the bromine. This 1 degree molecule is also has a branch which is far away from the bromine. Then there is less steric hindrance, because as we know, steric hindrance decreases, SN2 reactivity increases. So as steric hindrance decreases, the SN2 reactivity towards SN2 increases. So this 1 degree has less steric hindrance with respect to that one. So this molecule show much easier SN2 reaction than this molecule. Note it down. The question number 8. In the following pairs of halogen compound which undergo the SN1 reaction, the SN1 reaction has, we will change this one. It has a quite similar. Okay. The question number 8, and we are going to discuss SN1. Okay. In case of SN1, the reactivity would be different. The 3 degree is more reactive towards SN1 than the 2 degree, than the 1 degree. Okay. But this order will remain same. The alkyl iodide is more reactive towards SN1, then alkyl bromide, then alkyl chloride, then alkyl fluoride. Reason is same, the bond length and bond energy. But in case of SN1, the 3 degree is more than, 2 degree is more than, 1 degree is more than methyl halide, and the 3 degree is more than, what kind of carbon is it? carbon next to the double bond, allyl carbon, so it is known as allyl halide. So the 3 degree among 3 degree allyl halide, the allyl halide is more reactive, and the benzyl halide, that means there is a carbon on the benzene ring which has a halogen, then it is benzyl halide is more reactive. Then in SN1 reaction, the benzyl halide is more reactive towards SN1 than allyl halide, then 3 degree, then 2 degree, then 1 degree, then methyl halide. In case of different alkyl halides, the alkyl halide is more reactive than alkyl bromide, then alkyl chloride, and then alkyl fluoride. Now moving towards the these question, it is the question number first. This structure. Question number first is this and this structure. As we know, it is 3 degree carbon, it is 2 degree carbon. This one is 3 degree, this one is 2 degree. The 3 degree will be more reactive towards SN1. So this will show more SN1 than this. The second one is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and there is Cl and 1, 2. Okay, now it is clear, it is 2 degree while it is 1 degree, and 2 degree is more reactive towards SN1. This is the question number 8. Note it down. Note it down. We are moving toward the question number 9 of index question. It is very important question because the question number 9 kind of reaction is quite common in NEET, in IIT, and as well as in your 12th board examination. Okay. Now, identify the A, B, C, D, E, R and R dash in the following compound. So let first write down the entire question. In the first step, the question number 9, we have bromocyclohexane. We have bromocyclohexane, and the bromocyclohexane is reacting with Br in presence of dry ether and produce A. And the A is allowed to react with water and produce B. Okay, this one is first. Now, second one. What is the second reaction? The RBr, the alkyl bromide, is allowed to react with again magnesium in presence of dry ether and produce C. And C is allowed to react with DOD, D2O, heavy water, and produces CH3, CHD, CH3. Deuterated ethane, propane. In the third question, we have R-X. Okay, and this R-X react with magnesium and produce D as product, and produce D as product, and when this D react with water, produce E. Okay. Now, if this R-X is allowed to react with sodium in presence of ether, give CH3, C, CH3, 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 2,2,4,4 dimethyl butane, and we have to identify A, B, A. Let me use the black marker so it is easy to identify. A, B, C, this R, D, E, and this R dash. Okay, so we are going to find out A, B, C, D, E, R and R dash. Now, it is simple insertion reaction. When alkyl halide react with magnesium, give RMgX alkyl magnesium halide, which is known as Grignard reagent. So what will be the A? The magnesium would get inserted between cyclohexane and bromide. This is Grignard reagent. Remember the RMgX or ARMgX, alkyl magnesium halide or aryl magnesium halide, is known as Grignard reagent. It is a very important reagent. When Grignard reagent is allowed to react with water, whenever a Grignard reagent is allowed to react with any solvent which is proton donor, whether it is water, whether it is alcohol, whether it is ammonia, okay, where a Grignard reagent is allowed to react with any solvent which is proton donor, that it is water, it could be alcohol, it could be ammonia, then this MgBr react with this OH and give MgOH Br, and the remaining hydrogen would be on this side and give cyclohexane. So the product is cyclohexane. That means if any RMgX Grignard reagent is react with water, alcohol or ammonia, anything proton donor, then it will produce hydrocarbon. It was produced hydrocarbon. Clear? Now moving towards the question. The first step is same. RBr react with Mg, then it produce RMgBr Grignard reagent. Up now, in place of HOH water, we use D2O heavy water. Then what happened? There would be the carbon from which MgBr replaced by the deuterium. So that would be there. It is R. So what will be the R? Now look at the deuterium attached to the central carbon. That means, look at the above reaction. The carbon to which bromine replaced contain the hydrogen. Now in place of hydrogen there is deuterium. So the carbon to which bromine replaced contain deuterium. So what is this R? This R is isopropyl group. So reaction is CS3 CHBr CS3. Okay, this isopropyl bromide react with this and give isopropyl magnesium halide CS3 CS3 MgBr. Isopropyl magnesium halide, which is a Grignard reagent, and when this Grignard reagent react with the D2O heavy water, this MgBr replaced by deuterium and produce this, and with this the MgBr, and there is OD. Okay. Now we have R-X reacting with magnesium and give D. Again it is the same R-MgX. It is R-MgX. And when this R-MgX react with water, then it would take H plus and give R-H, and along with R-H MgXOH. Now we have to find out what is the R-. Now to find out the R-, we look at this reaction. R-X react with sodium plus ether and produce this hydrocarbon. Remember, it is Wurtz reaction. Which kind of reaction? Wurtz reaction. Remember, in case of Wurtz reaction, if we have alkyl halide, for example, R-X is allowed to react with sodium in presence of ether, then two R- molecule, two R- combined with each other from the same carbon to which halogen replaced. So if the R-X is allowed to react with sodium plus ether, then it is a condition for Wurtz reaction. Then two R- will combine together from the same carbon to which halogen get replaced and give R-X. That means this molecule which represent this should be symmetric. That means we can divide it into two parts. So this entire structure is known as R-. So what is the CS3C, CS3, CS3 X tertiary butyl halide? This R- would be tertiary butyl halide. Clear? This is the in-text question number 9. Note it down. It is a quite important reaction. So now students, that would be all our in-text question. In the next lecture, we will discuss the NCERT exercise of haloalkenes and haloarenes. That would be uploaded to my YouTube channel. Whether it is going to be uploaded by COAL platform or not, it would be uploaded to my YouTube channel. So please subscribe the channel and like the videos. Okay, so that you can have notification for each upcoming videos. That would be very helpful to you, and you can invest your lockdown period. Thank you so much.